Yeah. Ow. Let's go. Man on a mission, getting niggas' attention. Grinding all times and make it come to fruition. X got some shit on his mind, he gon' talk it. And fuck tiptoe on the line, he gon' walk it. Different individuals, various talents. He bring you in the spot, you gotta keep it 1,000. Some of this, some of that, make sure it's a balance. Watch them other joints, now you niggas is wild. And it's a vibe over here, word of mouth gon' let you know. Don't believe me, better check the next episode. Come prepared, no shooting from the hip, it's live wire. X marks the spot, Mucho in the mix.
Time to go global, baby.
Global VIP, I am Excel. And today, wow, this conversation with this individual, he is a maverick, trailblazer, a pioneer, an innovator in the field of fashion, and is currently exploring different options in so many different ventures. I've seen him active out here, an author. You know, he's really been rooted in the culture, especially in New York. He represents New York in everything he does. For everyone out there watching, understand, like, this individual, I have a pleasure of bringing you guys to Global VIP. I am a fan of his work, his innovation, his contribution to the culture and to fashion. To be clear, the industry that he's on. We have Ron Dyce over here, y'all.
You're welcome. Thank you.
My brother, cheers to being who you are. You know, you're a very genuine person, first and foremost, very humble individual, even though you've accomplished some incredible things, you know, in your field of mastery when it comes to fashion. You are very well put together as a pioneer of that industry. I had the pleasure of doing my research, and I was blown away by a lot of the information that I came across when it came to you. But today, I'm just gonna give you the floor, allow you to have whatever it is that you want to share with us, and of course the origin of the beginning of this journey that you're on. But prior to us getting into that, I have a ritual here, as part of our culture, our Global VIP. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. You need to answer these 3 questions before we can crown you a Global VIP.
Yes, sir.
First question is, do you have a passport?
Absolutely.
Second question, what was the last country you visited?
The last country that I visited was Jamaica.
Jamaica. Third question, do you have any plans on traveling this year out the country? You going overseas? Any plans?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, welcome to Global VIP, my brother. And that being said, since you graduated with flying colors, over here we don't give flowers. We give victory cigars. You seen it here first. Ain't nobody doing this. We the first ones in doing this, something like this, a Global VIP. We offer victory cigars. So here you go, my brother.
Appreciate it.
That's a Romeo and Juliet brand, top notch. A very expensive habit, but it's very well deserved.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna fit it right here.
Yeah. There you go. Let it be your co-host, your co-pilot, and of course, shout out to today's sponsor, Vaquila, the world's first vodka and tequila infused drink, currently in 12 states. We're looking into international distribution, and I have also the pleasure of reintroducing my official cocktail. This one is the Golden Visa. Is one of those drinks you can only enjoy it either overseas with us or here at Global VIP. So make sure you lock in. Send me a DM or something if you want to pull up and come sample the Golden Visa. I'll be happy to share that with you. All that out the way. Round Dice, let's start with you, my brother. So where you from?
It's Brooklyn, New York, Brownsville section of Brooklyn.
Man,
yes,
that area is not an easy area to come up in, and how was it coming up back in your time? Because Brooklyn has changed.
Yeah. The way Brooklyn is today is nothing like the early 80s and 90s. Absolutely not.
So that's the crack era, bro.
Oh yeah.
Brooklyn was vicious.
Very. And Brownsville was like, spearheaded all that. Brownsville incorporated any and everything when it came to that lifestyle.
Okay.
From, like I said, from the drugs, the cracks, the stick-up kids, everything. You know, people from Brownsville during those times, if they got a little money, they moved to Bed-Stuy. Like Bed-Stuy was that much different. You know, so that lifestyle I grew up in, you know, family, friends. There was a period of time from 1985, I believe it was the first time I was 10 years old.
Okay.
That one of my childhood friends was murdered. He was probably maybe 13. And every year for the past maybe 15 years, someone either I grew up with, hung out, real close friends, including my pops and other members, was murdered.
Your father got murdered?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 1991.
Wow. And it was a gun violence situation, an accident?
Nah, it was an accident. It wasn't an accident, but it was
okay.
Gun violence.
Gun violence?
Yeah. Brownsville, yeah.
That's crazy, bro. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, no
so
problem.
so how was it like growing up without a father in Brooklyn?
I was 16. You know, after that, actually, my mom's moved us out of New York in 1992. I went to Virginia, finished school in Virginia, and came back to New York in 94.
Okay, so you finished high school or college in Virginia?
High school.
High school?
Yeah.
What part of VA?
Richmond. And Richmond wasn't that much nicer.
Really?
Nah.
Wow, okay, because you would think Richmond would be a level up from Norfolk or from Hampton. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, when you from New York and you go to a city or state during those times, you know, New York had a reputation where everybody wanted to get at you.
That's true.
Yeah.
You had like a target on your back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was heavy in sports, though. You know.
Oh, really? Okay. What sport?
Everything. Football, basketball.
I mean, you're from Brooklyn. You got to play sports.
Yeah, absolutely. We used to play basketball in Thames.
Facts.
Yeah.
I did that in the Bronx, so I know what it is. Yeah, word.
So,
okay.
You know, that was something that helped me along the way, you know, because I played when I was here in New York as well.
So all right, Brooklyn, moved to Virginia, Richmond. What was it like growing up as a teenager and a young adult in Richmond, Virginia?
Actually, it showed me a lot. You know, I think that was the best move that my mom's made, because it made me meet people that I probably would have never met if I never moved out there. You know, I was able to socialize with Caucasians. You know, you growing up in Brooklyn, New York in the 80s and 90s, you probably ain't gonna never associate yourself with white people.
Unless it's the police.
Word up, absolutely.
That's the only way.
That's the only way.
Facts.
And the school I went to, Hermitage High School, it kind of felt like 90210.
It was that kind of vibe.
It was that kind of
so
vibe.
Did that, like your style? How was it? I know you had to bring that Brooklyn flavor.
Absolutely. And it
so
was
how you stood out? Like, I know you stood out, bro.
Well, it was like an influx of people from New York for some reason at that time coming to Richmond. Some brothers that I met out there, actually, we was enrolling in school together. They was from Queens. But, you know, Queens dress different than brothers from Brooklyn.
Right, yeah.
So it's something that we know where you from. If you from New York, like, oh, nah, you ain't from BK. You from over here, you from over there.
Right.
So, but when we in that central location, now we all rocking together.
Yeah, because everybody from New York now.
Everybody from New York.
It don't matter what borough. You just from New York. That's it.
So the way we stood out, the way we dressed. Right? Uptowns was the joint back then.
Gotcha.
You know, if nobody know what Uptowns is, that's a New York slang for Air Force Ones. You know, and we used to rock our pants and our sock. We had the collar up. You know, had the headbands on. You know, the New York flavor. So we kind of stood out.
And back then, we talking about what, late 90s, early 2000s?
No, we talking about like early 90s, like 92, 90.
Oh, wow. Okay.
92 to 94.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So then the New York music scene was just getting active at a high level because of LL and Run DMC and those guys, right? In the early 90s and all that.
Down with the King dropped, you know, but that's when Onyx was popping.
Yeah.
Not Mobb Deep, Black Moon.
Black Moon.
You know what I'm saying? Smith and Weston, MOP.
Smith and Weston. Yeah.
That.
Word,
you know,
word.
KRS One was always hot because KRS One used to always come to VA, to the college campus. So we used to hang out at college campuses, on VCU,
Right.
State, Virginia State,
Yeah.
different campuses like that. Yeah.
So you in Richmond, then you come back to New York. How did New York look to you when you made it back home?
It was pretty much the same because we always traveled. Like we was in Richmond doing school.
Okay.
But every weekend we was on 95 North. we was coming back all the time.
Okay.
You know, we just couldn't get away from it. And then I bring some of my good friends. We'd come out to VA, and then we'd go back. So it was, you know, I was always in the mix though.
Gotcha.
I never left the mix of New York. But what Richmond did in Henrico County, it kind of opened my eyes up a lot from a multicultural point of view, and the way they interact with individuals. What was important, you know what I mean? So that was a little feather in my hat.
Copy. So now you back in New York, and what's your plan now? What's your agenda in New York now that you out of high school now? You back home. What's going in your mind right now? Like what's your focus?
Well, so prior to me moving to Richmond, right? Virginia, prior to my father being murdered, I also was an artist. Always knew how to draw. Always. And fashion was always influential in my family. My pops always, you know, everything was tailor made or custom. They had the fedoras, you know how they was back in the days.
Word.
Nails, manicure, you know, that's how they move. You know, Cadillac Sevilles, you know, that was the black man's Benz. You know, so that's how how everybody moved on that level.
Okay.
So when me coming back to New York, urban fashion was high. You know, we had the Maurice Malone, the
Carl Kanai,
the Mecca,
Cross Colors.
Cross Color. Cross Color was actually, as we was going down to Virginia around 92, Cross Colors was hot. You know, we had the Shabazz brothers.
Shabazz.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mecca.
And Mecca. You know, and I was heavily influenced by Islam, you know, the 5%. A lot of my family was in the 5%.
Gotcha.
You know, I was also influenced by Dapper Dan. You know, my uncle in the back in the days, they rocked the Gucci and all of that stuff, but it was really, you know, bold in your face. So I was influenced by all of that growing up. So when I went to Richmond, we still had that kind of, you know, that vibe. You know, so as I made it back to New York, you know, we rocking those type of fashions. I wasn't really too much heavily concentrated on it, but on my spare time, I used to draw.
Okay.
You know, in regards to fashion, drawing.
So when did you realize that you had something there?
Well, I would say right after high school, when I came back to New York, my whole family understood that, you know, I like to draw and things like that. So, and I always wanted to be in fashion.
Okay.
Actually, me and a few brothers, we used to model for Helly Hansen.
Wow. Okay.
Remember Helly Hansen?
I remember.
Right. So one day my aunt was telling me, hey, you know, I always drew everything down. She was like, listen, the best way to keep your stuff like a patent, she said, what they call a poor man's patent. She said, get all your stuff in an envelope, everything, your designs, whatever you like, go to the post office and mail it back to yourself and don't open it. So that kind of created a patent for your designs or whatever language or logos, whatever that you may have, you have it. You have proof that you had it before someone else. So I did that.
So how many patents you own? You own now?
Well, actually, I own one. Actually, is
okay,
a patent for my shoe design.
We're gonna get to that because those shoes is fire.
Right.
So you proceeded with the poor man's way of verifying or patenting an idea. You did that, but when did you know that fashion was your calling?
Well, actually, I didn't know that until like recently enough, to be quite honest. Yeah, because I got it, lifestyle lifing. I got into construction.
Okay.
Right, I started my own construction company.
Okay.
Renovation and remodeling. So I've been doing that for 29 years.
Respect.
Yeah. So when I kind of knew that it was my calling, I've been married twice in my second marriage. My wife liked high maintenance, right? Expensive things and stuff like that. And she's a heel woman, like wearing heels. So she always wanted a pair of red bottoms and things like that. So I was like, hell, man, I'm gonna come out with my gold bottoms. This was like in 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
Them shoes is fire. Them shoes are fire, bro. Like, I want one for my wifey, too. So give me the link. We're definitely going to support. We're going to cop. Because I showed her shoes. Once she saw those, she was like, wait a minute. Those are different. I like those. I was like, yeah, we're going to rock them joints in Dubai. But anyway, we're going to get to that. So go ahead.
So I kind of threw it out there. But as I was coming up in the 90s, mid-90s, up in the 2000s, the internet wasn't so friendly then. It was still kind of new to us.
Right.
So I didn't know how to approach it or go about researching on how to get started in the fashion.
So you like a late bloomer.
Yes.
In that industry.
Absolutely.
But just based on what I've researched, King, and everything you got going on, I'd have never known that.
Yes.
So you're doing an exceptional job. If you have a PR team, give them a promotion. Because the way you are presented to us that don't know your story like that, immediately, just based on perception, we looking at someone that is passionate and is doing things at a high level. And very few people can master that as a late bloomer, or even going into a new industry. A lot of people, you definitely putting your best foot forward. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying? So salute to you. Exceptional job with that. And it's inspirational because there's a lot of people out here that have intentions in doing something, but for some reason life be lifing.
Absolutely.
And they just keep procrastinating or whatever the case may be. So let's stay right there for a second. How did you shake that off? How did you get rid of procrastination? How did you manage to or not become a victim of lifing?
Well, I was never a procrastinator.
Okay.
And
where did you get that from? Who introduced that attitude? Mom, dad? Okay, dad.
Pops. And I was a kind of individual growing up is that 1,000% I'm giving my all. My work ethic is bananas. I don't take no or take losing lightly, but I play fair. I'm not going to cheat to win. I'm going to outwork you. Point blank, period. I'm going to outwork you. And I'm going to pay close attention to details. I'm going to study the situation, and I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do everything that I can in my power to accomplish it. Everything. And whether it was via sports, that's how I was able to excel in sports. In drawing, I was able to, whatever I did, I was able to excel. And it translated over to me into construction. It's very difficult as a black general contractor or someone who has a renovation and remodeling company to really succeed in a sense of, because everything is critiqued. So you learn to do it right the first time.
And to that, bro, to that point, in New York, construction companies are typically owned by Hispanics or Italians, Portuguese people, but not people of color.
Right.
So how was that? How was navigating that industry for you? And how was that like going in that industry?
Well, it's still very difficult, right?
To this day.
Yeah, it's still very difficult because no matter which way you turn, they always move in the goalposts.
Damn, yeah, that's true.
Always. So The way I approach it is more so like we have to get our own. So if I'm buying a building or have a building, fix it up, sell it, do things like that, or do renovations, or if you know someone, word them out, they know your work. But it's really not so lucrative as one may think or could be. It really kind of keeps everything afloat and keep it moving.
Okay.
We got a major skill set, and then our mindset and mentality as a people. As you know, it's hard for us to come together to really make it happen. So yeah,
bro, and that's why I'm grateful for the opportunity to collaborate with you from the space of with the intention of going international, and clearly with what you do, with what I do, I think is, to be honest with you, I think it's super necessary for us to lead the way and reintroducing that concept, because we come from collaborations, bro. The motherland, we have villages, we have communities, we have kingdoms.
Absolutely.
Back home. You know what I'm saying? We come from that, but once they brought us here, divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer.
So now that I'm very conscious of that, and I'm also conscious of the fact that when I meet another individual that has a high level of talent and a high level of integrity, above all, I need to find a way to get close to that person and say, hey, listen, I have something that could complement what you doing. Let's figure out a way to work. And when I brought you this idea, you didn't really give me a hard time. You was just asking me questions that were valid because you really wanted to know, okay, what this is about, because it sounds something new. It sounds like something new. So, tell me more. Let's figure it out. And you was just with that energy, very welcoming.
Right.
There was no resistance, even though you operating at a high level. So for that, I'm humble, because I'm like, man, he could have just said no.
Right.
Because you don't owe me nothing. You could have just be like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm busy. Hollywood.
Right.
But you didn't do that. So thank you for that. And because of that, now I feel responsible to make sure that anything I'm involved in that I called you upon has to be high level.
I appreciate it.
And I'm going to keep that standard at every time. So you keeping me sharp now.
Absolutely.
That's why I had to make sure I went shopping and all that. I'm like, nah, this is Ron Dyce, bro. I got to come clean with the broski. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Word. But back to you, bro. So your morals, your principles, your values, who instilled that in you?
My mother and father. No matter what they was going through, whether it be drug addiction, whatever the case may be, they make sure that we kept our heads up. They installed that in us day and night. Day and night. Respect. Always be humble. And back in the days, you couldn't disrespect or talk a certain way in front of adults.
That's true.
And my mom was on it. My mom was on it. And my father didn't intervene if she was chastising her, and vice versa. My father was the man in the house. I grew up with two parents in a household.
Beautiful.
And of course, my grandmother, my uncles and my aunts. It was a village.
It was a village.
You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, if something would happen, we got to go to the vacant lot, pull off the switch, and you getting it.
Wow. I remember those days. Yeah,
you getting it.
Yeah.
And I pay great tribute to my mother and father first and foremost.
Okay.
And then my family. We was tight. We was tight. So they definitely installed that. So I may be out there doing the same things that my friends was doing, but when it came to adult, I'm straightening up. So I was always the one. Miss Renee and Ronald Children's always respectful and nice.
Yeah.
But and my friends looking at me weird. They're like, yo, bro, you doing the same thing we doing.
Yeah, they just didn't know how to switch it on and off.
Absolutely.
But there's an Asian saying in the old Asian days that every person has three faces. The face the world sees, the face your friends and family see, and the face only you see.
Right.
You agree with that?
Absolutely.
So how important it is to learn how to switch it up.
It's It's very important. Why? Because you always have to be inclusive with everyone whom you grow up with, no matter where you, what heights that you may reach. That keeps you humble. So when you come home amongst your friends and family, people who know you from back in the days, you know, you're not putting on a front. You know what I'm saying? You can blend in. You may not be doing the same things that they may be doing, but you still can relate. You always can relate. And then when you go out into the world, you know, everything is coming at you. So you got to be like a chameleon. You got to know how to adapt to every situation. You know, so you always have to find yourself being a student in the game.
Right.
Or being a student in life. Because the moment you realize that you know everything, that's when your death starts.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's when you start declining.
That's true. That's true. So when you decided to become, or better yet, when you decided to take serious your passion for fashion, when was that and what triggered it?
Okay, and in 2019, right, when I first made my shoes, right?
Okay.
When I first did the design, I was still trying to patent the soles, right? That's where I got my patent at. Is the color of the soles.
Oh wow!
Right,
okay,
right. Like the red bottoms, Christian Louboutin.
Yeah,
mine's is gold. Just a little quick, you know, I didn't get that idea from Christian Louboutin red bottoms. It goes back to the 90s when I was telling you about me creating a patent. So when I always wanted to design a shoe for females and men with gold on the bottom.
Really?
Yes, sir. To pay tribute to our ancestors back in Egypt, to show that type of royalty.
That's fire.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And because a lot of us don't know our history, a lot of us don't know we came from royalty.
True.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So there was always a passage in the Bible talking about the heavens will be, the streets would be paved in gold.
Gold, yes.
So that's what I got that concept from. And I realized, I was saying to myself, damn, the gold, if you put real gold on the bottom of the shoe, it'd be real heavy. But I still had that concept in my head. So when I got into to construction and, you know, doing everything, so we was doing the mosque in Harlem. And the crown molding that we was painting that had real gold fragment, 24 karat gold fragments infused in the paint.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I'm always thinking.
That's crazy.
I'm always thinking. So I put that in the back of my head. I kept that. And so I took that concept and married that with my leather soles. And put them on the bottom of the sole. So it's real 24 karat fragments infused in the paint.
That's
so you really walking on 24 karat gold.
Working on gold. That's crazy. But you know what, bro? That really lets me know that you are truly passionate about what you're doing. Not just the detail of it, but the fact that you could have just easily focused on construction.
Absolutely.
And become super successful, just concentrating your energy into that. But even though you were doing that at a high level, you said, nah, I still care about this. Like, I got to make this thing pop.
And the reason for that, right? So there's a method behind everything, right? There, there's always one link leading to another link.
Okay.
Most of our people of color love fashion.
Right.
We love expensive things. Where did that mindset come from? Even when we broke, we want expensive things.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
So, because we came from royalty. You know, Drake had a song, Start Off on the Bottom,
Right.
Now I'm here.
Right.
Nah, we ain't start from the bottom. We started from the top. We went to the bottom. Now we got to come back up.
That's true.
So my concept is getting into the industry, giving them what our European designers been giving them, right? High fashion, high quality, you know, in which we taught them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't want to be competing. I can't compete at this moment, and I don't care about competing. I'm just want to make something equal or better So I got away from the old concept of urban wear.
Good.
You know, you too boxed in.
Right.
So it's luxury. That's where we come from. We the inventor of luxury. So I say, you know, if I could give them a product that's fashionable, that's sharp, sleek, and smooth, and acceptable, they would buy it. And then now that's my key to get into them, into their mindset, teaching them, educating them, and bringing them all up as well. And then really, really, you know, spreading abroad.
I like the fact that you, like you said, there's a method to your madness, right? And there's a more profound meaning to what you stand for. And you are correct. You are 1,000% right. I mean, Mansa Musa at one point was the richest man on planet Earth.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know him.
You know what I'm saying? Like the richest man. And he was one of us.
Yes, sir.
And he took care of his people. He built empires, built villages, built communities. So I love that you giving me Mansa Musa energy right now.
Yes,
I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know what I'm saying? I read his story, and then just hearing what you're saying is like, nah, that's the mentality. And I pray that more brothers, more kings,
yes, sir,
out there get that spirit, bro.
Just you know, we suffer from a lack of knowledge. You know, so.
But where do I don't want to go there, but I'll go there. Fuck it. How do we lose ourselves, bro?
Look,
yeah, I mean, like
right. As we know that's another topic, but
yeah,
in short, right. So, we still suffering from post-traumatic slave. You know, I mean, people don't realize how deep that is. You know, you may think that you may or may not be suffering from that.
Yeah.
But there's a deeper meaning behind that as well. You still suffering, because as long as your people are still suffering, you still suffering. It's almost, you know, and we have that crab in a barrel mentality. You know, so it's something that was rooted in us through slavery. You know, and that was reinforced by one of the slave owners, by Willie Lynch. You probably read about him.
Yes, sir.
You know, about the separation and things like that. Whereas what was real profound, he talked about how if you follow this method, you will keep them enslaved mentally for 300 to 1,000 years.
Right.
And we're in the 300th year now.
Right. That's crazy.
That's crazy. So those who don't believe that Willie Lynch ever existed, the proof is in the pudding.
You know, and for you to grow up in Brooklyn, go to Richmond, one of the most racist places.
Right. First slaves.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a former vet. Salute to all my vets out there. I was stationed.
My pops was military vet, Marines.
Marines?
Yeah.
Man, let me shake your hand, bro. Respect. So I was stationed in Virginia, and I felt the racism out there.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So
heavy.
you growing up in New York, born and raised in New York, grew up in Richmond, back to New York. There's a lot of different cultures and things like that. But how did your mindset, like this mindset, because you don't have the average Brooklyn dude mindset, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like your mentality is different. Like, how did you develop that?
I was heavily influenced by Islam.
Gotcha.
You know.
So that's where the principle, that's where the roots.
Yeah.
So you was rooted.
Yeah, I was rooted. You know.
Got you.
With my uncles and them were 5% in the 5% nation.
Okay.
The nation of gods and earth. You know?
Yeah.
So you have that. You always have that in the back of your mind.
True.
As long as you studying, you know, like I said, if you teach your child and you go astray, he's always gonna come back because it's here. Once you keep, you know, just keep regurgitating itself. You just keep leaning on that.
Got you.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
And I appreciate just being around a brother like you, because like I said, a lot of times people that have this kind of spirit, we feel isolated, we feel outcasted, we feel alone, because there's not many of us out there. You know what I'm saying? Because you see a lot of that, the other personalities that don't really pan out too much. So you, even myself, like I I enjoy traveling because I feel like I find more people overseas that can understand my energy versus back home. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely appreciate you and your energy, my brother. So let's keep the story on you again. And so you patent the color of your shoe.
Yes.
So walk me through the process of even designing, developing, manufacturing a shoe.
Right. So, like I said, I'm self-taught. Right.
You learned that by yourself too,
by
bro?
myself.
That's
Everything.
crazy.
I never went to fashion school or nothing.
Well, we got to support this man. Self-made right here. We got to support this brother, man.
I don't know nothing about
That's fire.
Develop patent making or none of that.
Mm.
Draw it and I can articulate myself.
Dope.
So the way the patent came about, I developed the color, manufacturer, going back and forth, we developed it. So we got the color locked in. Now, someone asked me, they was like, yo, you should patent your shoe color, the gold bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was researching different patents, it was very difficult to patent anything in fashion.
Mm.
Unless it's maybe if you have a buckle or something that like a hook or something like that you can patent. But when it comes to a shoe design or clothes or something like, because you can't patent a suit. You can't patent a suit style.
Really?
No, you can't. I mean, because how many different ways that you can really design a suit? You may can patent a certain type of button on the suit.
Gotcha.
Or something like that. But you can't patent jeans. So that's why you see every from, let's say if you brought something off the rack to, let's say, a Tom Ford or Versace suit, they could all look alike.
Mm-hmm.
But the only difference is the type of material, the construction, and all those things that goes into it.
Okay.
But with the shoe design, I was looking, couldn't find it, and then I found this company called United Patent Association, something like that. They're out in Maryland.
Okay.
So I shot it to them, and I did research on Christian Louboutin. They did research as well, and he was able to patent his red bottoms, that color. So when you see other people now using red bottoms from different companies, he's getting paid off of that.
So he has to authorize.
Yeah, he had to authorize that.
The use of that
color. So you see a lot of different shoes with red bottoms. That's not even Christian Louboutin.
Right. Yeah. Word.
You see a lot of that. So I was able to get a 15-year design patent on those shoes in all of Asia, Europe, and the U.S.
Wow, congrats on that, bro. I'm gonna sip a little bit of my golden visa to that because that's an accomplishment not a lot of brothers out there has reached. So let me ask you though, with that patent, you said they give you 15 years of ownership of the patent,
right?
And then after that, you renew it or how does that work? Yeah,
you renew it, and also that's something like when you go pitching to let's say different department stores and things like that, and that's the stage that I'm in. It's easier for them to pay attention to you.
Okay.
Because they know that you're not going anywhere. That piece right there is not going anywhere. And it's easier for you to renew it when it's time to renew. So even if, let's just say, a lot of different major brands as you coming up, when they see something is hot, they want to collab with you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They kind of like cross promote, you putting your gold bottoms on a pair of Gucci shoes or something like that. Those things will come about at some point sometimes.
Okay.
So it that's something that I have under my belt.
Congrats on that.
I did, like I said, I came out in 2019 just before the pandemic hit.
Wow. So when the pandemic did hit and everybody felt that hit.
Right. City locked.
Where was Ron Dyce and that vision, that movement? What happened to it?
Creative mode, right?
Okay.
So I wear suits a lot, right? Maybe 5-6 days out the week, I got a suit on. After construction, take a shower, come home, I got my suit on, go to class and stuff like that, right? So that's something we get into later, maybe at a different time. But I wear a lot of suits.
Okay.
And for my first photo shoot in 2019, I was very inexperienced. And I had a young lady who was a stylist. She got some models who weren't really models, but they modeled.
This was your first show?
My first photo shoot.
Photo shoot, okay.
First photo shoot, just before the pandemic. This was in November.
Okay.
And all I had was my shoes. And I had about maybe 10 models. We rented out like 4 studios. And they had their own clothes.
Okay.
So I was really focused on the shoes. We did the photo shoot. It was dope, But when I was looking at the pictures, when we was locked in, I was like, nah, that look doesn't go with my shoes.
Okay.
It doesn't speak luxury. It just speak like, women got some expensive shoes on with whatever they wearing. So I said, you know what? What's my target market? Who I'm trying to capture?
Okay.
The businesswoman, the businessman, the executive, people that may go out to events or different things like that, Grammys or whatever the case may be. So I decided to start designing women's suits. I designed men's clothes also, but I focused on a female. I started designing women's suits tailored after how men's suits are constructed. When you look at a woman's blazer, everything on a woman's blazer is like a facade. Like none of their pockets are functional. They don't got inside pockets. They don't have any of them. They don't got no pinhole for their pocket. They don't have none of that stuff. So I started constructing them like a man suit, but feminizing them to make it contour to a woman's body. I played with softer fabrics, different colors, but still kept it business and sleek.
Dope.
So I did that. Had my first photo shoot at my house. This was in 2021, right after the pandemic.
Okay.
When we was able to kind of creep outside a little bit because they had us down for like 18 months.
Facts.
So I started posting it on social media. I didn't really know nothing about Instagram. And a stylist seen me. His name is Mario. And he reached out to me, DM'd me. He's from California, Hispanic brother. He reached out to me like, yo, you want to put your stuff in a showroom? He was working for this guy named Johnny Cohan. He has a professional showroom in the city. All right, cool. So I put my couple suits in there and I put my shoes in there. This was in 2021.
In the city where?
They located on 35th and I want to say Broadway.
So you off the gate, your line is already in Midtown and Broadway, bro.
Yes, sir.
Let me jump to that shit. This nigga was some next level shit. Yeah. I love it. Go ahead, keep going. That was fire.
So I put myself in the showroom. We sat down and talked, and I'm looking at the stuff that's there, and I'm looking at my stuff. I'm like, my stuff don't look like nothing like this. I'm on a different, different level in regard, not to knock no one. That's their style. They're more urban, more, stuff like some things that's not even practical. You're not even gonna wear that. But when different stylists and photographers start seeing my stuff, they start pulling them. When they pull them for editorials, like different shoots for different magazines and things like that. And bro, from 2021 till today, I'm no longer with the showroom right now. But from 2021, let's just say, from 2021 to 2022, within a year, I was with them for like a year and a half. I've been published just from that showroom in over 70 magazines, fashion magazines.
Wow.
In that 1 year time span.
Wow.
And that propelled me to be a part of my first fashion show. It was a collaboration. I really didn't want to be a part of no fashion show because I know what my clothes look like. And growing up, when you hear fashion show in the hood, you're not understanding it. the real details of what a fashion show is. I'm thinking avant-garde. That means something that's not practical. People just wearing big, weird-looking clothes. And I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So this sister convinced me, like, nah, it's really not like that. Just, just see how it goes. You can do about 12 to 17 pieces. So, all right, cool. So I pulled some of my stuff out of the showroom, and I presented it for her. This was in 2022.
Okay.
When I presented it, I came out to, that's when Alicia Keys, Jay-Z, and Kanye West came out with that New York song.
Wow.
And I came out to that.
It's crazy.
And it crushed them because everything was practical. They went bananas over my stuff.
You said you've been published in 17?
No, 70.
70?
Yeah, 70. Yeah,
talk your shit.
Yeah.
This is what this platform is for. Yes. This is Global VIP Energy. I love it. 70 publications.
Yes.
And your line is flying out the fucking boutiques.
Yeah.
Flying out the store. Oh man, that's kind of a phenomenon. That doesn't really happen.
Right.
So
I'm blessed, man.
Okay.
By the grace of Allah, I'm blessed. And with that, I did the fashion show. So backstage was a kind of shock to me, right? I never think about it. Where we come from humble beginnings. Certain things you're not, you don't associate yourself with,
right?
Or you would never be a part of it,
right?
So when I was backstage, I'm sitting back looking. I'm taking note of everything. I'm taking note how they got the men affiliate with the women all in the same close quarters, taking their clothes off. I'm sitting up there. I'm like, nah, I can't associate myself like that. It just doesn't feel suitable or sustainable for either male or female.
Okay.
I watch how different designers talk to the models like they wasn't even human.
Right.
Cursing at them. I'm like, bro, I'm ready to take you in the back, but we don't talk to people like that.
Yo, I heard some shit. One of my mans was like, because he's also in that industry of fashion. So he said, yo, if you ever want to have pimp privileges, but not be called a pimp, just get into fashion.
Yeah.
That's what he said. Yeah. And I was like, yo, you wild for that. But it makes sense because like you, I've seen what goes on back there sometimes, and it's like, yo, they talking to people wild over here, bro.
Mad wild. And models are up and coming. So they taking that abuse because the designer is selling them a dream.
A dream.
First of all, the designer is not really established. His clothes or her clothes is mad whack.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy cheap. Like I'm watching all these things.
Right.
And I said, I'm not doing that. I do this. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. So, long story short, I decided to do my first fashion show in 2023.
Last year,
2020. Was it? No, excuse me. It has to be 2023.
Okay.
Of February.
During Fashion Week, was that?
No, it was during Fashion Week.
Okay.
It was on Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow.
Super Bowl Sunday, and it was in Brooklyn. Now, mind you, most people in the fashion industry don't come to Brooklyn. They stay in that central location of Manhattan. They go from fashion show to fashion show, fashion show.
Right.
So I did it on a Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow.
I had, I was by myself, the only designer.
Okay.
Backstage, I had the females in one location, had them in another location. You're not doing that. I made the females feel very comfortable. I wasn't even back there. I had my team back there dressing them, doing their thing. I just come, make sure, okay, this is right, boom, 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 no problem. And we had 94 models.
Wow.
94. My first show, 94 models.
Wow.
Bambi from Love and Hip Hop walked in our show.
That's dope.
Right? And we did the event in Brooklyn at the Bushwick Ballroom, off of White Cloth somewhere over that neighborhood. And we had over 1,000 people come out.
On Super Bowl Sunday.
On Super Bowl Sunday.
Fashion Week.
Fashion Week.
And you still manage in New York.
In New York.
Brooklyn. In Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
That's crazy, bro.
Yes, sir.
You definitely are.
That was my first show.
You definitely are lightning in a bottle.
Yes, sir.
Because this doesn't happen a lot, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like people, and especially in the industry of fashion, like it's a cutthroat.
Yes.
It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And your story, if people hear it and misunderstand it, they'll think that it's easy.
No.
So what are some of the challenges you've faced? Because it sounds like a lot of the stuff you're saying is like, yo, that's crazy. But have you faced any challenges, any difficulties?
Well, that everybody, a lot of people run a lot of game on you.
Okay.
I lost a lot of money not understanding the marketing side. Right? For everybody out there, you should never put PR before marketing.
Explain the difference, because people don't even know what the difference is.
Right.
They think a PR is supposed to do marketing work.
Right. No, a PR is just pretty much is public relations.
Right.
You know, that's what it stands for, public relations. So it's like introducing you to someone like yourself, right? Or a different, maybe a celebrity, or, you know, just maybe do a press release or something like that, where your brand is not even developed. So you taking that road right there without marketing. People don't really understand your brand.
Your brand.
You kind of putting the horse before the carriage, or the carriage before the horse.
Right.
So the PR is relevant once your brand is really solidified and your marketing and all of those things is in place.
Correct.
Because now you can go to this person's website, right? You can you can actually go buy these pieces. If you're not there yet and you're doing PR work, and let me tell you something, PR on the average $5,000 a month.
Easily in New York.
In New York.
Yes, sir. That's true.
You know what I mean? So, and everybody's a PR. Everybody got
Right.
Everybody knows somebody.
Right.
So now you jumping at everything. You like, wait a minute. This is not. Where's it at? So I was able to meet a Korean sister. I call her A to Z. She kind of broke everything down to me on, you know, how to go about it, how to approach it. So, you know, I'm always a good listener.
Okay.
Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be arrogant. Be humble and listen. Pay attention to people who've been there. And you got to respect that. And when you're able to do that, you're able to move silently. And I'm humble. You know, I pretty much keep to myself. There's a lot of people I still don't know in the industry because, you know, I'm doing my work and I'm coming home.
Right.
You know, when you mentioned earlier that you don't see a lot of interviews because I'm not out there like that. I'm more worried about the technical parts about it, about the branding parts, looking at every detail on how I can make Ron Dyce become that brand. I don't look at myself as just a designer, right? I'm a brand.
Right.
So one of my mentors, Jean, an older Caucasian lady, about, you know, she's amazing, and she taught me that the way designers or brands are sustained is that they have other things that help them. So because what I present, I don't present fast fashion.
Okay.
You know what fast fashion is let's just say your rainbows, these smaller designs or brands. What they do is they copy from the big brands and they make it in a sweatshop and they pushing it out there. It only you maybe get one wear out of it, and then you buy it again. So, but with someone like a Versace or Chanel or somebody like that, where their price point is for their shoes maybe $1,000 and up, a blazer may be $3,500 or something like that. You're not going to buy a lot of that, right? But what sustains them is the accessories.
That's true.
Right? Is the fragrances, is the other things that they may have.
They diversified it.
Everywhere.
They created the this will be This will be the focal point of the brand, but everything else will complement that.
So
That makes sense.
you got a Versace shirt on, you may go get the cologne.
Exactly.
You may go get the belt. You may go get these other little things. So
That's
now
true. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's
know.
like the iPhone, bro.
Absolutely.
You see the iPhone do the same shit. They sell you the phone, and they sell you the fucking the case. Then they
case,
sell you the
right.
AirPods. They sell you all the accessories too.
Because what?
That's true.
You're gonna have that phone or your shoes a lot longer than you may have the cologne. The cologne gonna run out, so
That
you're
makes
gonna
sense.
buy some more.
That makes sense.
So that's gonna just keep rolling over. So that's where Ron Dyce is gonna be.
That's fire, and I pray that you get there, and I'm sure you're gonna get there because from 2019 to where you at now, you definitely on your way. But
and I don't even count like we say, and I don't want to get misunderstood in a sense, right? Yeah, I started in 2019 in November, but remind you, we had an 18 months hiatus. We was locked down.
so you use that time to study, to research.
So it's really from like 2021 to now, 2022.
So you one of those, as they call it, you like a case study
Yes.
of how to utilize idle time and maximize it.
Maximize it.
Right? Because you used the whole pandemic time to just educate yourself on the whole industry, bro. That's fucking genius.
Yeah.
Not genius, but it's common sense, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you will really think people will take that time. Yo, I can't go nowhere. Let me just pick up a few books, pick up a trade, learn something. But you literally epitomize that. Like you are the true definition of that. Because coming off the pandemic and having your product, your line on 34th and Broadway.
Right.
That's wow.
And now, I've been written up in Forbes and, a whole bunch of magazines and things that's real relevant. I'm getting into circles that that you won't find a brother like me like there.
Yeah.
For real. Like,
and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for even having this opportunity, like I said, to work with you, but potentially build an incredible relationship. I feel like we up to something special.
Oh, absolutely.
And with the circle of people that we know, like shout outs to Vina Love,
yes.
Shout outs to every, Ralph McDaniel, shout outs to these people that it's like, yo, like we always had 6 degrees of separation. You know what I'm saying? But let me ask you, so due to the fact that New York City, because New York City is oversaturated with a lot of different things, a lot of people trying to like chase the same dollar. Like, how do you see yourself? How do you position yourself in New York to be respected as a fashion designer? Like, what is your strategy?
Well, as we know, as you mentioned, like New York is oversaturated. That's where to me, where legends are really born.
True.
So New Yorkers will always support and big up someone from New York. Always. If you got the right niche, the right drive, they're gonna get behind you. They really gonna get behind you with what you have. And the key to that is you have to be loyal and committed, and always be humble, and be real. And when I'm saying being real, I mean like be real for real. Don't because we're people from a mile away. So I know, I stay in that mindset of how we think, coming from New York and coming from Brownsville. I've seen a lot and been through a lot. And you look at some of the people like Jay and some of them brothers come out of Brooklyn, New York, Bed-Stuy, billionaire. And he mastered his craft.
Right.
And those are some of the people that you look at. I don't use them as my as someone that I want to mirror myself at. I study it, because I have other. I don't look at entertainers as my
role models.
It's
more for inspiration.
It's more for inspiration, but I praise them for what they do.
Gotcha.
Because it's hard work. And you don't take no credit, nothing away from them. They bust their backside and you watch them. But you see yourself, someone like Jay come up out of there, whatever someone may say how he made it, or how he got where he at. Everybody need help along the way, but you can't take away from his craft.
True. But what I really love on where you stand as a man, because I go to your social media, and clearly I use it as a form of research, of my research, right? Yeah. To really get more profound in what you got going on. And I see a lot of comments, and it's 85% women, meaning, because women don't really support men like that no more.
Right.
Because for obvious reasons, we abuse our position as men in society throughout millennia, right? Throughout the centuries. So women are just tired of,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but for 85% of your crowd, your audience, to be women and really genuinely congratulate you, support you, show you love, that means that you take care of your people.
Absolutely.
To me.
And to be, heterosexual.
That part.
Right. And because I create a safe place.
Yes, sir.
I'm not a creep. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to sneak a peek.
Facts,
I'm not
bro.
trying to do any of that.
It's crazy.
And I own that.
Right.
I own that. And that's something that, for whatever reason, that we take advantage of that. We see women around, they may quickly want to get undressed because, this is they so used to that. They so prone to that. But now, with me as a designer, now they covering their shame a little bit. They covering up because I'm creating that atmosphere. Right. And I'm letting women handle women. And so by me creating that type of space, Models Talk. Yesterday I was doing a podcast, and it's called Models Talk. And they passed the word. And when they pass the word, and everyone's talking highly about you, and talking about this person, has a lot of respect for us, and he treat us like humans, right? He make us feel like we are the supermodel, right? Because that's how I look at them, right? If Naomi Campbell was sitting right here and another up and coming model was sitting right here, I'm gonna treat them like they Naomi Campbell and vice versa. I'm not gonna treat them any different. Of course, you're gonna pay more homage and respect to someone like Naomi Campbell because where she came from, but the level of respect, the way you talk to them, is the same.
It's the same.
It's the same, and that's something that I was taught from as a child from my mother and father. So I have models coming literally everywhere, from Europe, from Paris, from Australia, from Italy, from Jamaica, just all over, just to come to either photo shoot with me or be a part of what Ron Dyce is doing, walking my show and things of that nature. And they come on the strength.
See, I think your secret
everywhere.
That's fire. And your secret sauce is you're not selling a product. You just sharing your energy.
Yes, sir.
Right? It's your energy, your vibe, it's the atmosphere that make people want to support you profoundly, because you are a rare breed, a rare kind.
Appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? And I again, today I had the pleasure to finally meet you in real time. But prior to that, we had conversations over the phone. We, interacted on social media. But since day one, I felt it was a presence there. But then when I did my research, as I mentioned, and I'm looking through the comments, I'm looking at the amount of people that's showing you love and support and things like that. I'm like, man, this man, he's not like the average person. You know what I'm saying? And to be in that industry, I think that's what's going to make you even more special, because in that industry, as you mentioned, people, especially men, once they get in a certain position, they abuse the power, and they make the environment very uncomfortable, very toxic. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely salute you, and I pray that you keep on that path to change the narrative in that environment.
Yes.
So that being said, let's talk about international.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? How do you feel? I mean, in the span of time that you've done what you've done, you already considering going international with your brand. Like, what's the motivation behind that? Like,
because when I look internationally, right, most of the most profound designers and brands, they're European, right? And for me doing research and understanding that they don't really like American designers. You know, they won't purchase your stuff. You may do shows out in Paris and all of that stuff like that, but they are not buying your pieces.
Wow.
They're not. But that's just, I'm just putting that out there. But I always wanted to be connected with our people from Africa, right? Because we're the ones that, as I mentioned earlier, taught them.
True.
You know, but now as our countries are starting to develop, right? Even from, like you said, from the Dubai down, they're starting to develop, and no one really with our type of style touch those areas.
That's true.
And if we can spearhead that, and we be one of the first designers to really bring it to a Lagos or Nigeria or Dubai, or on a level that we want to bring it, someone from Brooklyn, New York, connecting to that,
That's true.
where it's not really touched yet. I think we have something. So internationally is where I want to be, where I'm going to be, where I need to be.
Gotcha.
You know.
Did you envision all of this 20, 30 years ago?
Yes. The reason why I say that, because going back when I talked about paying homage to our ancestors in Egypt with developing the gold bottoms. So I was always wanted to be connected to
With fashion?
with fashion. I always was thinking about that. Like I said, watching my dad growing up, you know, they was fly, bro. I got a coffee table book coming out in July.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Yeah. So how you're transitioning from a fashion designer to now an author,
Yes.
right? So how you feel about that venture?
It is a branding tool, but it's also kind of walk my fans and people who want to get to know me on where it kind of started at, right? It's not a autobiography of myself. It's an autobiography of Ron Dyce. So it's called The Manifestation of Ron Dyce. So it kind of giving you a glimpse of my old neighborhood, where I kind of grew up, and kind of walking you through me developing the Ron Dyce brand and where I'm at today. You know, I know some people may say like, wow, it's kind of early to come out with a coffee table book or any kind of book, and you haven't really reached those heights yet. But I look at it like this. You do something now, you get volume 1. When I do reach those heights, you're going to be clamoring for that.
True.
You're going to want to come back and get that.
That's true. But then also, it's not only that. I think that book is extremely necessary, because you're not really trying to sell a product. You're just trying to share your energy.
Yes.
And your wisdom and your knowledge. And that has no timeline.
No time.
Any day is a good day to share information.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So whoever is out there saying that, I guess they don't really understand what it takes to go, you know, to operate in divine order.
Yes, sir.
And I think that's what you on autopilot when it comes to that. I feel it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So just being a man rooted in your faith, you know what I'm saying, and rooted in your morals, your principles, is guiding you to where people that's been doing what you've been doing for 20, 30 years, they still trying to figure out how to get out the Bronx or Brooklyn with their product.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you're already looking into potentially going internationally, and clearly we having a conversation about putting together a fashion show in Dubai, bro. That's crazy.
That's going to be major.
How you feeling about that, man? Because I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I'm like, man.
I'm very excited, and I'm getting a lot of great feedback. You know, a lot of people hitting me up, you know, asking about it, you know, congratulating me. You know, I let them know that, you know, about your brand, you know,
Thank you.
how it came about. And I mean, it's high, man, and it just keep building. every day, people talking about it.
I saw you post that flyer, bro, and it just caught fire.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. They was just waiting for you to drop something like that.
Yes.
It seemed like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was just waiting. They just knew Ron Dyce going to do something crazy. And then boom, you did something crazy.
And it's a beauty because my idea, what we want to do is do one fashion show in New York.
Okay.
And then a fashion show internationally. Whether it be in Dubai, then next week in African country, and so we'll do 2 internationals and one New York.
And bro, with Global VIP, our intention is to create those platforms.
Yeah.
And clearly, my motivation is to go to the motherland.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think we strategically going to Dubai is a good move because it's a hub. That's where all the movers and shakers of any continent, you'll find them there. Network. And that's the intention for us to go out there, create a platform, invite them over, and let them know this is what we got going on and this is what we can bring into your, culture or community. So let me ask you this. Due to the fact that now you have established yourself as a personality, how has that changed you, enhanced you, or motivated you? Like what is different now?
Well, it's still so surreal, right? So I still haven't really, because I work with my head down. I'm seeing, right, but I'm constantly working because I'm never satisfied with what I'm doing. I accept the accomplishments that's along the way. You always give praise to God for that, right? But will it kind of hit me a little bit was the last fashion show. And we're doing a red carpet. And some of my family members, friends and families was waiting to take photos with me. But people was like really like pushing and shoving to get there, right? I'm like, I don't know what to do. The family members looking at me crazy. I'm like, what you want me to do? I'm sitting there like, I want to take a quick picture with y'all, but they coming, and they're like, wow, that's Ron Dyce, and I'm sitting there looking like, damn, I'm just, I'm here just trying to do something for the team and give people, a little piece of me, and they was really treating me like I was a celebrity in a sense. And I realized, I said, okay, then what I'm gonna need is like a red carpet handler, certain handlers to kind of direct people appropriately to be able to, for everyone to get or won't get left out or be, get a chance to speak with me and move out the way, because I was just getting pulled left and right, upstairs, downstairs, and it wears you out.
I know your knees were on fire after that night. You had to go home and ice them joints. I already know, bro.
And my cheekbones, right, like a permanent smile. You like,
yeah, right. That's feel you.
Yeah, but it was a blessing because you don't take nothing for granted.
Right.
Because I love the people, and if I can speak or talk to everyone, I would try. I read every DM, bro.
Wow.
Every DM.
I believe you because I definitely DM'd you. And I'm like, I'm glad he read my shit.
Yeah.
But you know what, bro? Where I really you really kind of like set a good impression with me is when I designed a flyer for you, right? I got the flyer designed, and originally I took one of your images, your person, like one of your physical images, and I put it on the flyer, and I sent it to you, and you was like, take that picture off and just put the logo up there. That said everything to me about your personality as a person. Like the image, I don't want to sell me. I want to sell my brand. It's about the brand, the Ron Dyce brand, not me as the person. Like that's how I took it.
Yes, sir.
So I respected that because now it's bigger than you.
Yes, sir.
You're not doing it for the adulation, the admiration, and none of that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it because you clearly are. You want to create something that's gonna embody something greater than just yourself.
Absolutely.
And just that gesture, that's what I got from it. So I didn't take it in a negative. I was like, yo, this man, okay, he knows what he's doing. He's special. So I was able to improvise and fix the flyer, and then you shared it, and then it just took off, and everybody was, you know what I'm saying? The reaction was the reaction. But in many cases, I've collaborated with many people, bro, and they always want, oh, make my image a little bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's how people react, because they are self-indulged. Like, it's just about them. It's about me, and it becomes this fucking little universe where they think they the greatest thing that's ever happened since sliced bread. So for you to come to me and be like, yo, nah, take my image out and just put my logo there and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, he's different.
Yeah.
You know, because clearly those people that asked me to enlarge their fucking image are not working with me no more. It was just a one and done.
And see, what people don't understand, right? They don't study what they consider maybe their competition or who they would like to see themselves next to, right? So, and they don't have the level of humility that they should and come in.
Right.
So it's two things that I take with me. The humility, me coming from where I come from and seeing things. And I don't want to be the face of my brand. Like, it just, I don't need that. But when you study other brands, what do you see? You don't see none of them post up. You see their logo.
Yeah, you see. You know, I don't see the CEO of Louis Vuitton or the owner, the founder of motherfucking. You know what I'm saying?
You don't see that
unless if it's in a movie like the Chanel movie that just came out, or the Gucci movie that Lady Gaga was on. But
that was dope too. And people need to study that in fashion. They need to go study that.
The House of Gucci, was it called?
Yeah, House of Gucci.
Yeah.
I watched that a lot. I was like, yo, that's deep.
But you know, to your credit, I feel like you are changing the narrative in everything you're doing, and I'm just grateful. I'm honored to even have an opportunity to collaborate with you. And I'm gonna say it here: I'm gonna put my best foot forward all the time. But working with you, I feel like it's almost like steel sharpens steel.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, now I'm working with someone like Ron, bro. Come on, man. I ain't slacking, bro. Look at Ron, bro. I'm with Ron. I ain't slacking, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, now you really keeping me. And I think this is what we have to do as men.
Yes.
And this is what's beautiful. We men. I'm a married man. I have a family. I'm not doing this for the admiration either. I don't care about comments, likes, none of that, bro. I care about generational shifting. You know what I'm saying? My children.
Absolutely.
My wife, my kids. So for me, it's a greater cause. I'm also under divine order.
Absolutely.
I feel like God is just saying, this is where you have to go. And that's why he's connecting me with individuals such as yourself, amongst others.
100%.
So I feel like we are going to go to Dubai this year. We're going to do everything that we say we're going to do. And then when we come home, it's going to be a different temperature.
Yes.
That we're going to have to deal with. But the fact that we are amongst kings, and kings were able to do this.
Absolutely.
There's no division here. We just mastered our craft. He runs his kingdom. I run my kingdom. Then we come together and create an empire. That's my attitude since day one. It's been that, like that, bro. So I'm thankful for your humble nature, your humble demeanor. But I'm going to say one more thing to you. That's really what's giving you your superpower, because your mystique is the reason why people feel like they can't get enough of you, because they don't see enough of you out there. You know what I'm saying? They only see you, and when they see you, it's a grandiose situation. And it's like, yo, nah, I gotta take advantage of this moment, because I know I'm not gonna see him for like another 6-7 months or maybe a year.
Yes, sir.
Or maybe to the next event. So your mystique, keep that. That's fire. Like, because I'm telling you, because in the era of social media, everyone is showing themselves. There's a lot of they selling themselves, right? There's a lot of that going on, but content creating, everyone is a content creator. Everyone is creating something, but for you are not creating content. You are creating an energy.
Yes, sir.
Even though it's through your fabrics, it's through your designs, it's through your presentations, but it's an energy. And that's what's gonna make you priceless. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate
in this industry, bro. Because and I'm telling you, man, because I've been around for over 20 plus years, working with so many different people, and this is the first time I feel the way I feel about another man. No Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I dig it. No,
you know what I'm saying? I gotta say that for the youngsters.
Right.
But I've never felt like this for another man, where I'm like, yo, bro, like let's do this together. Let's work. Like I'm really happy to come across someone like you, because now I know that the sky is just a destination. It's not even a limit no more.
And the feelings is mutual, brother. You know.
Thank you.
Definitely. I don't believe nothing happened accidental or coincidental. You know, everything happens, like I said, divine order. Happened for a reason. And you know, I was telling everyone that I met, I was like, yo, man, I think this is something that we can take and really, when I say capitalize, not in a negative way. You know, people could use capitalism to conquer people and take advantage.
True.
But when I talk about capitalizing, meaning building something together, you know what I'm saying? Capitalizing on opportunity to help everyone come up and grow.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And make moves and put our flag everywhere we go. We got to put our flag behind, you know, put our beachhead up, put our flag behind enemy lines, and just keep driving. And, you know, we have the talent.
Right.
You know, I studied you as well, and I look, you know, in background and see how you was moving, and I love it. Your energy is great. The people you're around is great.
Thank you.
I watched some of that stuff on YouTube. I was like, wow, they really having, you know, a great time. The energy is good, and it's kind of showing that, you know, we can do it on this level as well. We don't have to be hood or gangster and all these type of you know.
Right.
Move like that. No, we have where we go, we have to set the narrative.
Yes.
That this is how we are perceived now. Because in most countries, what the news represent us is all the killing and moving in that direction. But if we set the narrative like, nah, this is the other side. And we keep pushing that narrative, one event or one movement at a time, and then narrative is going to shift on how they view us across the globe.
I love it, brother. And once again, thank you for, you know, considering being a part of this, collaborating with us. I'm looking forward to the magic we are about to create. Let us know, let everyone watching know where they can find you, where they can support you, what you got coming up.
Yes, sir. So you can find me at official Ron Dyce on Instagram and on all your social media platforms. Official Ron Dyce. You can also visit my website, www.rondice.com. My coffee table book is set to drop in July. We're going to have a watch party as well, where we're going to take all the content that we was doing up into the fashion show. We're going to create a watch party. So we're going to launch that as well, doing that. Coffee table book launch is going to be at 275 Park. My man Ray DeJean, black-owned business there. Amazing venue. And then, of course, we got the Dubai, which is really, really huge. That's the next big thing that you're going to be seeing Ron Dyce in.
And just for perspective, October 11 through October 16, Ron Dyce is bringing Fashion Week to Dubai. We know Fashion Week is when they tell you how Fashion Week is.
Right.
But with a man like that, Fashion Week is whenever he decides Fashion Week is. You know what I'm saying? And if he wants Fashion Week to be October 11th to the 16th in Dubai, then that's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. That's what we're doing this year, man. And I thank God we're going to close out the fourth quarter with a grand slam.
Absolutely.
Because what's happening out there is we having yacht parties, we having desert safari parties, we having pool parties, we having dinner at the Versace Palace events, we having concerts, we doing all of this, and Ron Dyce and his glorious presentation will be all over that. And this is the energy we bring into Dubai. This is the quality of people we bring into Dubai. So all of my people out there in the UAE, I invite all of y'all. Matter of fact, all of y'all are on a guest list. Y'all don't even have to worry about nothing. Just pull up. Because meet this man, meet this king, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. And we about to change the narrative. We're gonna change the whole perception of what being a man of color from the hood,
Yes.
quote unquote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna operate at such a high level that the next generation will have no choice but to either stay there or go higher than that.
Higher than that, absolutely.
That's my challenge to you, my brother. And I thank you for
Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Appreciate it.
Ron Dyce.
No doubt.
Global VIPs, my guy. Y'all be safe, stay blessed. We gonna rock out with some of this Vakila and see ya in Dubai.